Hi, it's Amanda the Nail Polish Hound, and here we are again with another destash video, and this time I'm going to be going through the rest of my blues. And we're starting off with these two that look pretty similar to me. I've not swatched either of these because I love them both and I know I'm going to be keeping them. And the first one is this Hard as Nails. This is a prototype for Moonstone. I absolutely love this. It's a beautiful semi-opaque blue with a strong holographic glitter to it. And this one's definitely staying in my collection. I did actually destash the final version of this one, but I love this proto very, very much. It is a topper, really. You can't build this one up easily to be opaque, but it is a beautiful polish. And then this one, which is new to my collection, and this is Happily Ever Aqua by Holo Taco from the Birthstone range. I was lucky enough to pick this one up, and it's a similar sort of tone polish, but this time it's sort of a crushed linear holographic finish to it. So those two are both staying in my collection, and here's a nice up-close comparison for you of these two polishes. You can see that the Hard as Nails does have a slight purple shimmer to it as well, which isn't in the Holo Taco, but I do love them both, and they are staying in my collection. My next little collection are all polishes that have got little glitters or flakes in them. And the first one is this Prism polish, and this one is called Dandelion Clock. And it's got a lovely sort of rose gold fine flake in it. You can see that there in this close-up. Delicate and very pretty. And that's what this one looks like on the swatch wheel, and it's staying in my collection. It is very similar to the next one though, but you can see that the glitter in the next one is far more pink in colour. And this one is by Rogue Lacquer, and it's called Let Them Eat Cake. I have used this one a few times already. That's what it looks like on the swatch wheel, and you can clearly see that those little pink flakes show up really nicely. So of course this one is also staying in my collection. And this one by Hard as Nails is also the same sort of concept. This one is called I Love You Ken. Slightly different colour base to it, and a more sort of bronzy gold flake in this one. Here it is compared in the bottle to the other two, so you can see it's got a slightly more green colour to the base. And I think you can see that even more clearly on the swatch wheel. And this is one that doesn't really suit me as much. I'm not so keen on this one, and I love the other two, so I'm going to let this one go. The next two polishes are sort of similar in colour, and one of them's got little glitters in and the other one has got shards in. And this first one is a Model Zone. I've got the whole collection of these polishes. This one is called Duck, and I'm definitely going to be keeping this one. Then we have this 9-0 polish, and this one is from their Smoothie Bar range. It's called Blueberry Acai. I have destashed a few from this finish, but I don't think I've even worn this one yet, and I do like it, so I'm definitely going to give it a go before I make a decision on it. So this one's going to be staying in my collection for now, perhaps one to try out in the summer. The last one of these is this Polish Molish, and the cap's gone all sticky on this one, and it is split as well, you can see there. I hope that's not going to make it dry out. If I have any problems with it, I might have to move it into another bottle. It is called Red Square Stones. It is very pretty though, and I'm definitely going to be keeping it, and I must get around to wearing this one soon. And maybe next time you see it, it's going to be in a different bottle. If anyone knows any other caps that you can use with these, do let me know. These next four polishes are clearly all different from each other. We don't have any dupes here, but they didn't fit with any of the others that I'm looking at today, so I bundled them all together. And the first one we have is this Princess Nail Lacquer. This is a really old one, and I have had this one in a project polish before. I do love it, but it's getting older, so it does need using up. I shall have to remember to put this one back into my project polish sometime soon. That's what this one looks like on the swatch wheel, and you can see that I've got a thing for blue polishes with pink shimmer in them. So that one is staying in my collection. Next up, we've got an old CBL, and this one is called Shiny Happy People. This one's from 2016, and again, we've got that sort of pinkish shimmer in it. This one does need building up. It might be better worn over a corresponding base colour, and you can see that shimmer on the nail really clearly. So I do love this one, but I think I'm going to need to find some undies for it. So obviously that's staying in my collection. Next we have a Barry M from the Molten Metal range, and this one's called Celestial Silver. And I remember when this one came out, everyone went nuts for it. It is a mainstream brand that's easily available in the UK and very well priced. It looks so much like an indie polish. As I said, everybody went mad for it. But compared to some of the polishes that I now have in my collection, this one doesn't quite look as good anymore. And although I thought it looked more blue, I actually think it's more of a greenish grey. So I might recategorise this one in my collection, but I'm definitely going to be keeping it. It's just not as pretty in my mind as some of the other blue polishes that I have, but a lovely polish all the same. And I'm pretty sure that I will get round to wearing this one again. And then we have this Holo Taco. This was a limited edition. It is called Crystal Skies. And it's quite a chunky holographic glitter. Lots of different sized holographic glitters in there. When I wore this the first time, I didn't really like it very much. And I was half contemplating getting rid of it. But then when I swatched it on the swatch reel, I really love it. So again, I think this is one that's probably better off worn as a topper. I wore it on its own and built it up to full opacity the first time I wore it. It got really thick and I didn't enjoy it, but I think as a topper I'm going to love it. So this one is going to be rehomed into my toppers drawer. Okay, so I've grouped this next four together because they've all got flakes in them or are similar in colour. The first one we have is an Emily de Molly, and this one is called Win Me Over. Lovely pale blue with some green to gold flakes in it. The colour of the flakes in this one are not really my favourite. I know gold doesn't really suit my skin tone very well. But I do want to give it one more try before I make a decision, so I'm going to leave this one out and make sure I wear it sometime soon. The next one is quite a lot darker, and you can see that we're back to my comfort zone here of blue with pink, and I do love the colour of the flakes in this one. This one is called Cool Blast. It's by Cert Colours, so I'm far more likely to reach for something like this than I am the previous one. This one is definitely staying in my collection. And the next one is quite similar. Here they are together. You can see that the Cert colour is a little bit more of a periwinkle colour, I think. And the Polish for Days, a little bit darker, a little bit more muted. But you can see the flakes are completely different in these. And the ones in the Polish for Days kind of pull purple to green. This is what this one looks like up close. You can see it's absolutely jam-packed full of those pretty little flakes. And here's what that one looks like on the nail wheel. This one is staying in my collection as well. And then finally, I didn't bother to swatch this one. We know that I'm going to be keeping this, and it is Blue Rizzler. This one was from the Rock Candy collection earlier in the year. I love it. Again, there we are with the blue and the pink together, this time with their crushed holographic formula. Absolutely beautiful, and it's staying in my collection. Next we've got another little random collection of polishes, but they're all slightly darker blue, and towards the end here moving a little bit more into purple, but still more blue than purple in my opinion. And first one is another one from the Model's Own Chrome collection. This one is called Chrome Indigo. And that's what this one looks like on the swatch wheel. Formula on this one's not very good at all. It's quite streaky. It was hard work to get it to look even as good as it does, and it still doesn't look very good. So this one's going to be leaving my collection. Next we've got this Sister Chic polish, and this one is called Blue Christmas. It's got a little bit of a holographic glitter in there as well. Very fine and not too much of it. On the nail wheel, it's a shade of blue that I don't really like much, or at least I don't like so much anymore, so this one is going to be leaving my collection. And this next one is an old polish called Denim FX in blue denim. And this is one that I think I got. I think I got this one in a destash, so I don't really know much about it. This is what it looks like on the nail wheel. It is quite pretty, but again, I've got so many polishes now that I prefer in my collection. I'm going to let this one go as well. And the last two in this section, I bought the Lemming lacquer in a destash because I was told that it was a dupe for the La Cuesta. As you can see that they are quite similar, but definitely not dupes. So this is the Lemming lacquer and it's called Cyberpunk. Not a dupe for the La Cuesta polish, which had been a long-term Lemming of mine, but I do love this polish on its own merits. It's very pretty. And again, we got that pinkish purple shimmer in there, which you know I love, so I'm going to be keeping this polish. Then we have this one by La Cuesta, and it is called 1999, and it's from the PolishCon 2020, which never happened. And I finally managed to buy this one, and I absolutely love it. I'm not going to be swatching this because I want to save every single drop of it to wear on my nails. It's truly stunning. I've never seen anything else quite like it. So that's La Cuesta 1999, absolutely staying in my collection. If I can find the swatch pic of this one, then I will pop it up for you. So this next little lot are all darker blues with glitter in them. And this first one was a long-term Lemming of mine as well. And this one is called DS Lapis. And that's what this one looks like on the swatch wheel. Probably not even able to see quite how blingy this one is. It is a little bit chunky, but it's so spectacular that I will forgive it for that. And this one is staying in my collection. And the next one is this little bottle of Polish Me Royalty. It's called Romanticide. It is a very pretty, looks blue in the bottle, but when you swatch it on the nail, this one looks more purple. And pretty though this one is, it is an older polish and it doesn't stack up to my newer indies. So I'm going to put this one aside and try and use it up in my project polish. This next one is another Ada's Nails, and this is from 2019. It's called Irish Sea, and this one is very pretty. Again, it's got a little bit of a purple shift to it. Not sure if you can quite see that on the video, but in person it definitely does. And the little glitters in here, very, very fine. Holographic with a little bit of a teal shift to this one as well. That's what this one looks like on the swatch wheel. I have decided that I'm going to keep this one. And finally in this section we have this Essie. This one is Starry Starry Night, and it's the one from the Revival collection. A lot of people didn't like this polish. I quite like it. This is what it looks like on the nail wheel. But when I look at these four together, definitely keeping the OPI, this one here. This one I'm going to use up sometime in my destash, a little bit more purple. And out of these two, the SE, this one's kind of halfway between these two. So I'm going to keep the Ardor's Nails and I'm going to keep the OPI. I'm going to let the SE go because I don't think I need all three of these polishes in my collection. Last three now, and we've got a couple of reflective polishes by KB Shimmer and a very, very special Bee's Knees lacquer. And this first KB Shimmer is a favourite of mine, and it is called Drawn to You. I love the blue. Again, we've got a pink shimmer in there with the reflective glitter in there as well. Just really, really pretty. Lovely sort of icy wintry polish. So I haven't swatched this one, but it is staying in my collection. These polishes though, they do go thick very easily. They do need quite a little bit of maintenance. I have added extra base to this one. Then we have this iconic Bee's Knees lacquer. And this one is called A Lion with a Thorn in Its Paw. It has been released at least a couple of times. I got it in March 2021. I think that was the first re-release. And look at all the different shifts that you get in this one. And beautiful pink shift and a teal shift. And a little crushed holographic formula to it as well. I just love it. If I could ever find a backup of this one, I would get it. It is beautiful and I really should wear it again sometime soon. So I haven't swatched this one, but again, I'll try and find a swatch pic and pop it up for you to have a look at. And then last but not least for this video, we've got another one of those reflective polishes by KB Shimmer. This one is called Tapped Out. It's a much darker bluey green base with a strong violet shift to it. When I wore this one the first time, I wasn't really so keen on it, and I was thinking that I was going to let this one go. But then I saw it on the swatch wheel and I've changed my mind. So I'm going to wear this one again. I think what I tried to do is make it darker when I wore it last time, tried to get a really deep inky colour. So I used 2 coats, and you really don't need 2 coats of this one. I think it would be better with a pale grey undie and then just popping 1 coat of this over the top. So it is staying in my collection. So at the end of that, we've got another 5 nail polishes leaving my collection. One that is on the pending pile and one that's going to be going into my project polish to use up. And I will see you back soon for the start of the purples, and there's a lot of them. Purple is my favourite nail polish colour, so it's going to take a little while to get through those. So I will see you sometime soon with that next video. If you've enjoyed this one, please like and subscribe, and I hope I'll see you in that next one. Bye!